What a great episode we have coming up here on From the Cart Path. This is going to feature our 2024 national champion from the drive, chip, and putt, Karis Reid. Before we start the episode, I want to remind everybody that you can now register your golfer, boys and girls, ages 7 to 15, at the drivechipandputt.com website. Again, drivechipandputt.com. Boys and girls ages 7 to 15, you can look up the qualifying sites there. I highly recommend anybody taking their children. It doesn't matter if they are advanced or not advanced. It's a great opportunity for them to participate at a great event where so many great people have won this event and played at this event at Augusta. Again, I hope you enjoy my conversation with Karis Reid.
Welcome, because you are now listening to From the Cart Path with your host, Trent Roberts, bringing you tips, support, and player recognition and education with the experts for parents and junior golfers in Indiana. This is From the Cart Path with your host, Trent Roberts.
Welcome back to another episode of From the Cart Path, and we have a special guest this week. She will be a freshman at Carmel High School, the Greyhounds, as you can see behind her on the screen. And she's also a 2024 Golf Week Junior Tour All-Midwest team with 3 wins from that year. I just looked it up, Karis. You're going to be proud of me. I looked up some things. And then most important, and she's the 2024 Drive, Chip, and Putt National Champion, which is quite the accomplishment because if anybody's seen that on a Sunday, how many tears are flowing on Sundays when people are watching that? And I remember watching it last Sunday, and Sophie and I sitting there just pulling for you, and both of us teared up when you won that, and we're quite excited. But before I get into talking about how you've been preparing for this season, how many times have you filled up that cup and drank out of it?
Actually, none.
Now, question it. The second part of that question is, how many times have you caught your dad drinking out of that cup?
I've never seen it personally.
Do you think it's happened?
I can't say yes or no though.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, Karis, it's been an awfully long winter. It's been cold. It's been a lot of snow. What have you been doing to prepare for this up and coming season?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of workouts and stuff. So I was working out. It's actually kind of like a funny story, but I would be working out 4 days a week, and then I got injured, so I had to dial it back a little bit. So I've mainly just been doing a lot of like strengthening, focusing on like just kind of getting back to the mechanics of my swing, honestly, and just prioritizing getting ready for those tournaments.
So now where do you work out at?
Fitness Garage.
Fitness Garage. And who's the coach that you're working with on your swing over the winter?
Brad Fellers over at Prairie View.
How long have you been with Brad?
Oh gosh, probably going on 5-ish years. Probably.
Pretty good relationship?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So all winter, you had a little bit of an injury. And I know this. I saw the setback for you, but I don't think it was a setback. I call it a break because I think sometimes you need a break because you do work a lot at your craft, at what you do, because I know you have some great goals. Yeah. What are some of your goals for this season?
For this season, honestly, I just want to win a lot of tournaments. Honestly, that's the main goal. I'd like to qualify for some of those big tournaments, like the Girls US Amateur and that kind of thing. I'd also just like, to get the opportunity to just play in a lot of these tournaments is super cool. So I just want to like get that experience in my belt. So the overall goal, I think, is just to like get better at golf and prepare for the high school season, which I'm really excited about.
What excites you about the high school season?
I've already done, like, over the winter, I did a lot of workouts with the girls, and I think that's definitely, like, grown my relationship with them, which has been super helpful, and I think just, like, knowing that I'm going in, knowing some of these people is just super nice. And I'm just excited because, like, Sophie's even told me, like, it's the best part of her year most of the time.
Yeah, it's the quickest part of the year. You're going to find this out, Karis, as a freshman, and you've watched your dad coach the Carmel team, and he's back this year. Is his
Yeah,
first year back?
it is. Yeah.
So it's his first year back. He still calls himself the defending state champ because he hasn't coached since that year.
Hey.
We'll let him have it. So, but I know that they have a longer season than the girls do. So I don't think he's quite ready for how quick this is going to go and how often we're going to see each other out there, because in reality, it's constant. There's a couple of weeks you're going to have 3 or 4 invitationals.
Yeah, that's what some of the girls have told me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's fun, and it's the best 8 weeks you're going to have during the school year.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's going to happen. So let's go back to 2023, the beginning of your journey. And where did you originally start that journey at? Do you remember which course?
Oh gosh. Ackerman, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ackerman. Do you remember your points?
No. It probably wasn't as high as what my regional score was.
Well, I think the goal, do you think there's a difference like at the sectional qualifying just to get through? Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But the energy from each level, it just like intensifies like times 10, honestly. Like from like the just basic like qualifier, the first round, it's pretty chill, right? There's a bunch of people. Sub-regional, you're feeling it a little bit. Regional, you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like I could freaking go to Augusta. Like, come on now. And then Augusta is just like it's just crazy. It's like unbelievable. It's
let's talk about that, because I do know the sub-regional is tough in Indiana. Yeah. I know that one of the golf club of Indiana, every year, there's been quite a few of you that have qualified for the national championship out of that region. Do you remember who's all qualified from Indiana?
Maya has and Rusty has. Yeah. And Taylor Ross more recently too.
Correct. So think about that. 4 of you in the same kind of similar age group brackets have qualified for the national championship out of Indiana, going through that sub-regional.
Yeah.
Now, the 3 of you, the first 2 that you mentioned, you're competing against each other every year. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to get through that sub-regional than to the regional championship. Yeah. So when you got to the regional championship, was it in Ohio for you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. What was that like? When did you realize?
So I thought it was really cool. A lot of these regional courses, like they're like kind of strict, but it's not that big of a deal. But they were super generous. Like they allowed us a lot of time to I think it was like a 3-hour gap to be able to practice, which was super generous. And the Lord really settled my heart there, and He was just like took over. And I think it was really just cool because you see all these girls just have this serious want. Like everyone wants to be able to say like, hey, I'm going to Augusta, right? And it's just a totally different energy. And I thought it was a really good like opportunity to be able to meet some of these players. And I just thought it was really cool.
That's great. Do you remember any of them that you met?
I actually knew one of them. It was Karis Reid. She's out of Ohio. I don't know where exactly, but that's like one of the girls that I already knew, but
You know her from Golf Week as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy part, is all the kids that you meet through all these tournaments going from state to state. It's
honestly like a small little community for girls golf even too.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think the cool part is then you start traveling with some of them and none of you go to the same school. Yeah. So who are some of the kids that you like to go travel with?
I've never done like a actual like travel, but I like traveling with like Rusty Lemon. I've done a few, like met her at the tournament and then we go to dinner or whatever. The more recently I went with the Carmel girls golf team. We all went to that Golf Week event down in Kentucky. Yeah, I don't do a lot of like travel trips with like a lot of my golf friends, but I'd like to, honestly. Yeah. I've done like from what I've done before, it was a lot of fun, but yeah, it kind of changes the energy too.
It does. It kind of helps you relax more in the evenings.
Yeah.
Than from after a day of playing. It's like you can go to dinner, relax with your friends. The dads can hang out. So now the parents can't tell you how you played that day. You already know how you played that day, Karis. You don't need a Chard chiming in and telling you how you did. So So now we qualified for the national championship.
Yeah.
What was that moment like when you realized that you qualified?
Yeah, it took a hot minute to just like set in, and when it did, I felt like I like got hit by like a wall. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like this is like crazy. And I'm like a quick freak out. So like even before like tournaments, like sometimes I'll just like absolutely like freak out for no reason. Like I remember the week before Augusta, I could not hit a driver. Like I was like full panic mode. Like I was like it was going every which way, and then it was really it was really kind of funny because then it was fine obviously, but I kind of like have this thing where like I'm like, oh, and then I freak out and then it's fine, but it ended up being okay.
It ended up being definitely okay. So there's a lot of time in between qualifying for Augusta and going there.
Yeah.
What was your preparation for what seemed like an eternity? Probably about a 6-month preparation.
Yeah. So I think my biggest thing was just like focusing that the Lord has a plan for me and I don't have to worry about anything. But I also really prioritized my short game. So, because I knew my long game was fine. Like that's like one of my strong suits, honestly. So I think definitely focusing on like, and I would like me and my dad would rewatch the drive, chip, and putt, and like try to see how many steps these girls were taking, and try to get like the perfect yardage for how far I need to hit it.
Karis, it doesn't shock me that he was probably doing the counts in the living room.
1, 2, 3. But we really prioritize like the chipping and then the putting. I use aim point, so I'm like desperately waiting for one of these girls or boys to just like put up those fingers, and but it was definitely like a lot of like rewatching. But I think short game was definitely my main focus going into it. And we went to Florida the week before, so I got to hit on a lot of that like nice grass and be able to like I probably hit over 200 chips, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really he's looking over me like more than like 500. Like
he's pulling up paper with signs, isn't he? I mean, we may have to turn the camera on him at some point just so we can see Chard holding up a sign. It was a 12,000 chips, Karis, not 200. So I get that, and I think the difference too is because the grass and everything is different down south than it is up north.
Right. Yeah.
And I've seen it. We saw it at Pine Needles for Sophie this last winter when you don't realize the grain is a bigger deal down south than it is up here.
Yeah.
If someone from south comes up here and they start asking about grain, we just look at him and like, is it uphill or downhill putt? Putting on our grass up here at Bent is a little bit different than that stuff down there. It's harder, but once you get used to it, it's not difficult. It's just getting adjusted to it. So you drive up. Did you drive up to Augusta from Florida then?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you got there. Was there a dinner the night before, or was it the night of?
It was, oh gosh, I think it was the night before, yeah. And it was just like it's like everyone's out to get everybody. I just remember like some of these girls, just some of the looks they like, it was just high, like horse with blinders. Some of them, like, I was like, "Hi, how are you?" Good. I was like, I'm trying to be a friend, but it's like a totally different energy than like a spring series event.
Yeah.
Because like at a spring series event, like everybody, like Sophie, Maddie, Taylor, Rusty, all them, like you know them already. So it's like, and you don't know some of these girls, so it's like you just really got to prioritize being friendly. Honestly.
Well, it's stressful too. Think about it. You've been preparing 6 months. When you do the sectional, the sub-regional, and regional, it's quick. And even the regional championship, when you go to that to Ohio, you drive 2 hours for a 15-minute performance, and then you drive back home. It's not like driving to a spring series event where you're going to be there for 2 days playing 6 5-hour rounds, 2 days back to back. You're going for 15 minutes and then you get that drive home. So it's a little bit different. So I can understand probably some of those young ladies and men were stressed out. The next day they're getting ready to walk on the grounds. So when was the first opportunity you got to go to the course?
The moment, like, just, like, right before the tournament, you know, like, driving down Magnolia Lane was just, like, the moment where it hit me. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. Like, what, like, a cool opportunity. So, I mean, like, it's beautiful, honestly. Like, it's like nothing you've ever seen. It's just absolutely amazing.
So you walk out. Did you get to go to the driving range first to warm up?
We went to the chipping green first.
Okay.
And then we went to the driving range. And I was like, we have like, I think it was 15 minutes to warm up. And I was like, I was done in like the first 10 minutes. So I was just sitting there like stretching. I'm just like stretching over here. And some of these girls are like still hitting. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're there now. It's
Right, yeah.
You made it. The hardest part's getting there. I
Yeah.
truly believe that winning it's difficult. Getting there
It's harder.
is harder.
Yeah.
Because
totally
now you
agree.
got a 1 in 10 chance to win it now that you're there.
Yeah.
Or how many girls are there? Then it's to get there. It's like, oh my gosh, you start that first one, then the second one, then the next one. It's just the constant stress, right?
Yeah.
So you got there. Driving was your first thing that you were doing.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this on TV, and I saw that first drive. Now talk to me a little bit about that.
So, you know, pressure was high. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of cameras. That's what kind of stressed me out the most, I think. Like, they're, like, everywhere. They're everywhere. Like, it's like everything is following you. And I'm like, I don't have a very good resting face. So I'm just, like, really trying to, like, smile. But at the same time, I'm, like, really nervous. So I think, like especially over that drive, I was, like, my hands were, like, shaking. I remember it. I was just so nervous. But, you know, like, the Lord really settled my heart, and I was fine. And I hit the first one, 230. The goal was just to get into the grid. And the second one, like, if it was in the grid, just, like, bombs away, honestly. So after I hit that one, I mean...
So my question is, did you two recognize that hill on the right side?
No, I didn't. He might have. I did not. I was like, I saw the ball going right on my last drive, and I was like, please, just kick left, please, because it was such a good drive, too, and I'm like, just say it.
It seemed like there was a little hill that it caught, and that, I mean, you had two phenomenal drives, and I just remember when it came up at 251, you acted like it was nothing, and your dad had this big grin on his face.
Yeah, I remember this one girl, I saw it on the TV after she went, wow. I just kind of had to laugh about that. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's difficult. So you won that one. Were you like, what just happened after the first one?
Kind of, honestly. Like, I was ready to get smashed in the drive, honestly. I was going to be okay with getting, like, third or fourth, but I mean... You know?
Came away with it.
Yeah.
And then we head over to chipping.
Yeah. Oh, the chipping. That was the most stressful part in my opinion.
I tell you, Karis, it looks a lot. That chip looks easier on TV than it may be in person. What's it look like in person compared to being on TV?
So it's a lot. Like whenever you watch it on TV, you're like, oh, that's a pretty easy chip. Like that's not so. No, it's like imagine like a green it's kind of elevated a little bit, and some like these greens like if you don't hit it good, it's not gonna check.
Yeah.
So I really prioritized like landing it in like the perfect spot, and it was just like it was hard, you know, because chipping's like one of those things where it's like touch. It's just honestly just touch. And I think what really helped me was like I have a bunch of different shots that I use. So that definitely, like, took off a little bit of pressure, especially considering that, like, that's an advantage I consider. So I think it was definitely a little bit harder, definitely because it broke. It broke a little bit more than you would expect it to. And I was lucky. I was, like, oh, gosh, I don't know. I think I was the fourth person. So I got to see these balls kind of roll out a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that also took off a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, I think that's an advantage, too, when you're not the first one. How did they make that decision on who went first?
I think it was just random. And then at putting, it was based off what place you were in.
Yeah. So you went last on putting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did you know you needed to do on putting in order to win?
So I don't remember exactly, but I remember I just couldn't get like 8th, 9th, or 10th.
Okay.
So the goal in the beginning was to leave the putt 3 feet short on the 30-footer and like just go easy on the 15-footer. Just try to put it close. but I didn't realize that I didn't even really have to putt after the one girl had, like, the girl that was close, all the girls that were close to me had, like, blown it by. I didn't even realize I didn't have to putt, and my dad was like, he told me after, I wasn't about to switch your mindset. Like, I probably could have tried to, like, get it there. I think I left it, like, 4 or 5 feet short.
Yeah, it was a
Which is
smart
fine,
play.
but
Yeah.
But it was fine. I got a little nervous on that 15-footer, though. Like, I saw it rolling, and I was like, oh my gosh, please stop.
Yeah.
As soon as I hit it, I was like, oh no. It's like, please. It's like the adrenaline got me there.
So when did you realize that you actually won?
Probably after the 15-footer, I think, honestly. Like, you can tell as I'm walking off the green, I'm like, yes. Like, all that, like, it was honestly one of those moments where it's like all the hard work paid off. Like, that's one of the greatest moments in golf is when, like, you, like, played well, you're like, like, you just take that realization, you're like, it all paid off.
You were in a zone.
I was in a zone. I was in, like, a happy zone, but at the same time, a very locked-in zone.
Yeah. So you walk back, the Condoleezza Rice. Do you not actually know who she is, or did you look her up before you went there?
So, I didn't know a lot about her, if I'm being completely honest.
You're like, there's some random lady. I got to shake her hand on my way back.
Well, I kind of knew who, like, I knew of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know that much about her or anything, but, like, I knew who she was and she was important.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, thank you so much. You know?
What did she say to you?
She's like, congratulations.
I said that 20 other times before you got there.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably a copy paste, but, you know, it's okay.
Were there any players there watching when you won?
I don't think so.
No,
I've
seen Bubba there a couple of years watching.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of the other players come by. I couldn't remember if there was anyone that was there watching that year.
Yeah, I don't think there was. Not to my knowledge. I don't remember there being anyone.
So you walk back. You're standing there with your dad.
Mm-hmm.
What was his reaction?
He just had this big old. If you look back at the TV, he just had this big old grin on his face. It was kind of funny, and it was just like the overall excitement. Like, it was just so exciting. So I mean, a well-deserved grin. I mean, there's not a lot of times you see a grown man grin like that on TV, but you know, a national champion, a national win, like, can do that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think both of you deserved it. I think the entire family deserved it. Now, were your mom and brother there as well?
Yeah, and both sets of grandparents.
Wow. So how many tickets did they give you then for that day?
Oh gosh, it's 8.
8?
Yeah.
So thankfully you had one sibling, 4 grandparents, and then your mom and dad. That made it easy for 8. That made it quite simple at that point to pick that down. So what were the responses like for the entire family? Were they they were probably excited to be there, but just to see it happen, how were they?
They were so excited. If you look back at the TV, the random guy that I high-fived, that's my grandpa.
Okay.
So he was obviously very excited. I was really happy he could come. I was kind of worried he was, like, going to have, like, a lot of back pain because he's older and it's, like, super hilly, but he ended up being, like, it was fine, you know? And then both my moms, because that was my dad's dad, and then my mom's set, they were, like, super excited. It was just, like, honestly, I think everyone was really excited.
Yeah, I can imagine. So they do the awards ceremony there, correct?
Yeah.
Is there anything that night that they do?
They do. Yeah, they did, like, a thing after, like, almost like a party hangout kind of thing.
Yeah.
We only went for, like, an hour, though, because it was, like, late, and I was tired, and I had to get up early in the morning to go to the practice round.
So let's talk about the practice round, because obviously I gave you my story about Sophie's almost attempt at meeting Tiger that I'll never hear the end of, and it'll probably be on many more podcasts that we do, is how close she got to meeting Tiger and getting his signature in 2019. So you get to go for the practice round. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that day and what it was like for you.
Yeah, so it was super exciting. It was definitely one of those things that's like, wow, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're, like, desperately trying to see every player in every hole. So you're basically, like, you can't run. but you are definitely scampering around the course, like trying to see every hole, every player, and you can't have your phone out. So I'm like trying to preserve all of my like disposable camera clicks. Like
Right.
I'm trying to be like, okay, be smart. Like
Yeah.
let's prioritize the good ones. But
And you don't
it
even
was
know
super
if they're going to turn out well, because at least
right, yeah.
you
My
have
mom
no.
still hasn't printed them out, Trent. She still hasn't taken them to CVS. They're still in the disposable camera.
See, that's what happens with film and disposable cameras from our
Exactly.
time frame, Karis. And I think that the interesting thing is you got to experience what life was like for your parents and us back in the day, where the film would get done and it would sit there for years, and then they can't find it.
Exactly.
And we had a couple of digital cameras that we were able to, one of the guys took in, but still, it's not your phone. It's not. I think the phones now are better cameras than half the digital cameras that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
So you're walking around. What was your favorite hole to go sit and watch?
I like that Amen corner. Honestly, it's just like super pretty. Like all of the holes, they were just like 10. Like the TV does not give it justice.
No,
honestly.
it doesn't.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's like no course you've ever seen. Like I thought Pinehurst was like really pretty and beautiful, but when you go to Augusta, it's incredible.
Different. Pinehurst,
it's
different. It's different types of grass, different types of golf, different types of setup and atmosphere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Both are unique, but there's nothing like Augusta.
Right. Yeah. It's just so cool.
Let's be honest, there's nothing like it. Did you get to see anybody skip the balls on the water holes?
We did, yeah. Our set of our friends, the Wurtels, they had like seats by the par 3, so we like sat there and like we got to see like some of the caddies were actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Honestly, like some of them you don't expect them to be that good, but it's like some of them were pretty good.
Now, did you go by the practice green like the practice area at all to get autographs, or did you just kind of skip that?
We did, yeah. Oh gosh, I couldn't tell you who I got. I always get the hats. My brother likes to get like I forget what it was. We went to the memorial tournament and he got like a ball for some reason. I'm like, no thanks. At the Solheim Cup, I got a hat. I just like the hats, I guess. So I got a lot of like hat signatures, and I think it's funny because I always like try to angle the hat and give them the hat where I want them to sign it, and then they'll take the hat and turn it and sign it somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was super cool. I thought it was like, whenever you're doing that, it really shows a lot of the players' personalities. And I think like, it was just really cool because you got to see like how they practice, how they warm up, and how like locked in they are. And I think that was super cool too.
Who were you happy that you got to see?
Scott Scheffler, probably, honestly. That was one of like the main people I was trying to watch. And then Rory's always cool to watch, but unfortunately, I'm hoping he gets a win at some point at the Masters. You know, I kind of feel bad for him, honestly. Like he gets so close every year, but so far, yeah.
There's been think about Phil back in the day at the U.S. Opens. Yeah. I mean, he got his Master wins, but always those years of getting so close to the U.S. Open just not happening. Eventually, it will. Yeah. He's playing. Rory's playing well right now too, so I think. Yeah. It could happen. I think, who was the runner-up last year when you were there?
Ludwig Oberg.
I think that's who's going to win it this year.
I do too. I really like him. He's one of my favorite players right now.
Yeah. What is it about some of these players that you like?
I like a lot of attitude, honestly. I feel like that's a big thing. And like a really good swing and like their prioritization. I don't even know if that's a word. I think it is. I don't know. But like their overall, like how they approach the course, I think is really cool. Like, do you go for the par 5 if there's water on the left and like bunkers on the right? Or do you lay up? And I think that really like gives a good example for like, it's like a good role model kind of thing, you know? Like, what, like, should I do this in this situation? Or like, you know.
You're right. And I think Scotty, the one thing I like about Scotty is his course management is the best on tour. Oh, yeah. And I think any kid or junior player could utilize him as a role model for how he plays a course. And I see some of these videos out there where I watch some of these kids play. The pins in the front right, barely over water. They're trying to go pin seeking. Yeah. And Scotty just goes, I'm going to go to the middle of the green and go 12, 14 feet away. I'll get my chance at birdie, but I'm not going to risk bogey. So I've always appreciated Scotty's approach to how he plays the game. Yeah, so you're national champion. The year's coming to an end. How does that feel?
It was kind of sad, honestly, but I mean, it was kind of funny. Like, it didn't really hit me until like 3 days after, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, wait!" And I was like at school, and it was like one of my teachers is actually the assistant golf coach at Carmel, and he
Okay.
like printed out this giant paper of like the overview for the drive, chip, and putt thing. Like, the thing where it has like the drive distance, the chip, and whatever. He printed this big old paper out, and he put it in his classroom, and all my friends were like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And some of the kids were like, "You went to that?" And I was like, "Yeah."
They didn't even know you were there. That's funny.
No. And so apparently some of them were like, they're some of the parents, like, they were like apparently watching it or whatever. And they're like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I know her."
Yeah. Well, that's the difference. I think when you go to a school that size, there's so many great athletes in your
Mm-hmm.
district. I mean, there really are. If you go to a smaller school, they're probably going to be doing a parade in the city before you left. There's a little bit of a difference. So
Yeah.
all this is done. We're going into the summer now.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the tournaments that you're looking forward to this year?
Oh gosh, I'm definitely looking forward to doing some AJGAs because I feel like my game's just in a spot right now where, like, last year, like, I was pretty good last year, but I feel like I'm more prepared this year. My mental game's a lot better, so I'm definitely excited for some of those. I'm doing a lot of qualifiers, like I said, like the U.S. Junior Championship or whatever the U.S. PGA Junior Championship. I definitely butchered that name, but that's okay.
It's okay.
And like the girls amateur or whatever qualifier. I'm definitely excited to do those. Just like I said, like to get the experience, but it's also super cool. And then I'm doing an Epson Tour qualifier at Otter
Okay.
Creek, which is going to be super cool. I think I might get like absolutely destroyed, but it's one of those
It's
things
being
where it's
there.
like, yeah, it's just being there and being able to see so many good players.
I think that's the big thing too, is there's a lot of tournaments you can go to, right away. You can win this tournament. And then it's fun to go to some of those. It's like, let's see how I do.
Yeah.
And I think that Epson Tour qualifier could be one of those moments, but why not try it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything.
No, it's not going to hurt you. It's also what it's going to do is put you on a map if you have a good round.
Yeah.
And now that you're still quite some time away from the recruiting process, Karis, but it is getting closer. What do you have some schools and like types of programs that you want to go to? You don't need to name schools, but like types of programs, or you could. Obviously, you're 2 years away.
Yeah, I definitely want to go somewhere like that gives me a scholarship. Honestly, that's definitely a big thing for me because college is expensive, So I think definitely like a scholarship it would be incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
But I'd like to go somewhere a little warmer. But like if not, like a lot of these northern schools they're going on trips. So it's honestly like it's not that big of a deal if I don't go to like the Florida or Georgia or somewhere like that. Like I'd love to. But honestly, those are like hard programs to get into, especially with the new NCAA rule or whatever. Like you can only have 8, 9 people on your team now. I think.
9 on the women's rosters.
Yeah, 9 on the women's. So it definitely adds a little bit of pressure. And my graduating class is like super, super good. So it definitely adds that little bit of pressure. But I definitely want to go to a school where because I want to do kind of be a doctor, kind of. I don't know. Golf's the main goal right now. So, I mean, I'd love to play professionally. That, obviously that's the goal. But, I want to go somewhere that's definitely gives me those opportunities.
Absolutely. What I think, too, is you hit the nail on the head with schedules. I think one of the things that you do a lot of is research. You do a lot of emails already.
Yeah.
Because you want your name in front of these coaches constantly so they know when the June 15th of end of your sophomore year comes into play, you've got some people ready to call you. Yeah. And I think looking at those schedules and knowing where do some of these schools play, like you said, there's all these teams are going all over the place in the South. They even have their spring break trips. Like you look at Purdue, they've been in Florida all week on their spring break trip. And now I think they have a tournament starting tomorrow, I believe. So those are the things to be looking at too, are the schedules, because you could look at a school and be like, they really don't go too many places. I don't want to go there, or they are in Florida and they never leave Florida. So I think there's also that ability of where can I go through the entire time?
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's definitely a big thing, being in a warm area so I can golf year round.
Yep, absolutely. It's my goal when I retire, Karis, is that I can go to a warm area and be in a warm area the entire time. I really have enjoyed having you. I think what you've accomplished in such a short time period in a career, obviously you're the first person from Indiana to win the national title. Have you had an opportunity to speak with Taylor at all?
Not yet, but I texted her
Okay.
and she texted me back, but she never I intended to if I said if you have any questions, just let me know.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. And I got her and her dad used to coach with my dad. So there's already that relationship there, and I've golfed with her a few times, so that's cool.
It's going to be exciting for her. Is there anyone
Yeah.
else from Indiana that made it this year?
I don't think so. No.
And then you had, was it Bryce? Was it?
Tish was there when I was there.
Okay. How did he do? I don't remember.
I think
he got there. I know
he got there. Yeah, I think he got 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
I think maybe 5th. I don't know. Somewhere in between 5 and 7.
Again, always it's going to be half the battles getting there, and then you started off great, and I think that put pressure on everybody.
Yeah.
You got the title. So where does the trophy sit at home? Is it in the family room? Is it in your dad's?
It's in my bedroom right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
were you going to say? Is in my dad's what?
Is it in his office? Now, what do you have in it? Do you have do you store stuff in there on accident?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
But I think it's really funny. We got this we got a box before we went to Augusta with all the clothes and stuff and whatever. And we went there was this lunch after, and I took some of the sugar packets off of the table. Oh my gosh, it's Augusta sugar. So
the cups, the drinking cups,
yes.
Because everything's so cheap. I mean, everything's cheap there that you can buy.
I probably had 8 ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We had 8 or 10 of the 2019 Masters cups from all the drinks that we would buy because it was cheap, and you just couldn't believe how affordable everything is there for food and drinks as a patron.
But then that balances out in the merchandise.
We won't even get into how much people spend at the merchandise tent, Karis. We're not. Those are what happens at the merchandise tent stays at the merchandise tent. It does, because you don't know when you're ever going back.
Right.
Well, great. Karis, again, I appreciate all your time today. Yeah. I know that you've got a lot going on. I know you have a crazy summer planned, and I know that you're excited for the high school season, and I will see you quite often out there, obviously from the cart path, but I'm looking forward to seeing how you do this year, and thanks again for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for listening to this episode of From the Cart Path with your host, Trent Roberts. Please be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.
Hey everyone, this is Trent Roberts with From the Cart Path, and I have a special message from our 2024 National Drive Chip and Putt champion to Taylor Ross.
Hey Taylor, we're so excited to watch you on Sunday morning. You're going to have the best day at Augusta. Just enjoy every moment from the dinner on Saturday night to putting on the 18th green. This is going to be a moment that you never forget. I hope you bring back another national title to Indiana, and we're all so proud of you.